This is Light No Fire. This is Hello Games' new IP, the creators of No Man's Sky. So to catch you up, this was announced at the Game Awards, which was like, I guess a week ago probably now, at the time of posting this video. This is the trailer. I'm going to let this play at about 0.75 speed, well, exactly that speed, as I sort of just talk about some of the things that I really hope are in the game, and then I will sort of get to the number one thing I really hope happens. Right away it hits you with some information. So it said a multiplayer Earth, procedural Earth, and a fantasy Earth. So that's exciting. Unexplored Earth. I'm not going to read everything, don't worry. But as it plays, I'll sort of expand on their vision for the game too. So Hello Games is very ambitious. No Man's Sky was obviously a huge undertaking. They wanted to create a universe, a procedurally generated universe, where every planet you went to was procedurally generated. Now, this was a huge technological undertaking. Gosh, look at this shot right here. Everybody together, working together. Don't worry, it'll be on loop, so we'll rewatch some of this too, so you don't have to catch all of it. Here we do have a flying mount, though. Do have to point that out. Our first shot, the flying kingfisher. Dragons! But yeah, so Hello Games as a company. Sorry, I'm probably gonna like start a bunch of things and sort of go in and out. Hello Games as a company, before I sort of finish with my number one thing, has done so much. No Man's Sky has turned into a beautiful, amazing sort of love letter to the game industry. In my opinion, it is that great of a game. It does Pokemon better than Pokemon, and it does Minecraft better than Minecraft because of the procedural generation. And the reason I say Pokemon is it brings you into an alien sort of fantasy world where there's a bunch of different creatures, and you can capture them. I remember one of the most novel parts about playing No Man's Sky that I thought was incredible was getting like my first group of all the alien creatures that you could find on all these different planets. So to go back to my point, sorry. The procedural generation was a technological, like, just drain, and the servers needed to adapt, and the connectivity of everything was sort of jeopardized. Like, the multiplayer was never brought up to the speed that most people would deem, like, good. It is still pretty poopy in some regards. I will say it, to be completely fair. Playing with some of my friends, I've had random disconnects. You know, I can see their indicator, but they can't see mine, or vice versa. It flips randomly. We'll be in the middle of a multiplayer mission, and we both just, you know, one of our games freezes, or one of us kicks out of the lobby or something, and then we can't rejoin. There are some things. So there we go. I replayed. Look at the render distance here. I am gonna. Well, actually, hang on. We'll get another shot as it replays, but I am going to pause it when we get to the part with the house. Actually, right here is pretty good. This is a nice little spot to stop because I just wanted to sort of like, here's a shot with 4 people. This is what they did in their No Man's Sky trailers. They're going to emphasize sort of playing with your friends. However, the servers need to be good. Like, the technology needs to be good. They need to have money invested into the technology to allow that to happen, because all of the base building and everything sort of happen in different instances in No Man's Sky. The thing about this game is everything is persistent building, so everything's going to stay permanently. And what so sort of alluding to the main point here, is there's finite space. So it's super interesting. This is a totally different direction. I'll let it play here. But you could imagine, right, just looking with your friends out on, like, what the heck is this giant empty dome? Is this a dungeon? Is this something to explore? Is there some brand new technology that we have yet to experience as we've been walking around together? It begs a lot of questions. How intertwined will the experience be? Can you separate from other players if you want to? But basically, the finite space is going to incentivize players to seek out the most desirable land, the most prominent points, right? If trading and sort of mini economies, player-driven economies are born. Like at this part here, this is where I wanted to pause it, but we have, right, the guy holding the log that is probably below my head that's just off screen now. We have the bunny here. Right, we have the guy on top, which appears to be a little pig, by the way, building. It looks like he just kind of waves his hand and the building starts to happen. It appears that weight and actually carrying the things is going to be a actual driving factor. So, of course, like, points on top of a river, right, where you can easily send supplies down to your friendly, your other guild mates or your other friendly players or people that you just happen to meet while playing the game. Things like that. So there's a lot the game can do. The ceiling is, well, they can go as far as they want with the game. Here we have just a beautiful shot of the render distance. We can see almost the tip top of this insanely tall mountain. But yeah, so the finite space thing, they say it's going to be a planet the size of Earth. And because of that, at some point, right, there's going to be this like rush as players begin to explore and initially jump into this planet. It would be super cool. And this isn't for everyone, and I know that, but I wish we'd be allowed to engage in, and I know it's gonna sound so crazy, but simply player versus player combat. Now I want that to be an option to incentivize hunting things that make you more have better prowess in combat, to be slightly stronger, to min-max, right? To give people something to go and seek out, to like, oh, my number's just a little bit higher. And I do just a little bit extra damage to the buffaloes. Nothing game-breaking, nothing insane. It's not like the other players with the PvP will be getting tremendous rewards or anything that, like, hugely propels them higher than the other players. But in some capacity, it could be for no rewards whatsoever, just be like a capture the flag thing. But how cool with these graphics and these characters and sort of this aesthetic and the bows and arrows, the sticks and stones sort of type of vibe, fantasy setting that we're in. How cool would it be for like a 4v4 capture the flag? Like, oh dude, your house is over here on top of this hill. Look at this. Okay. So the vantage point, right? You're here with your squad. You're looking down. You see that castle actually in the center there. I'm pointing with my finger in real life. But the little thing there, say that's an opposing clan, and they're taking all the best fish in the river here in the entry point. You have a point that, anyway, you know what I'm talking about, and then you're gonna contest. Things are gonna be contested, is what I'm trying to say. I think that will be the number one thing that brings in a lot of people, keeps the game sort of, not that the game is trying to be, it's not trying to be competitive, it's the opposite of what it's trying to do. It's trying to be immersive and bringing people together to work together. But I think that it would give, it would sort of capture some of those people that wouldn't be interested otherwise. And it would allow a lot of sort of, it would give a lot of depth to the game. And it would be a flick of the switch. That's the thing. It's not like this would always be on. But it would just be so cool to finally be fighting your friends. I remember in No Man's Sky how cool it would be to build a sick base. And then it's like, okay, well, I have this sick base. Let's see if you can come in and try to get to the heart, like the nexus of my base, like my home computer, and destroy that as I try to defend it with our different multi-tool attachments and things. It would give reason to experiment with all your different multi-tools. Like, hey, try to beat me with I'm forgetting the No Man's Sky names, but try to defeat me with the Ion Blaster as I use the Scatter Blaster, and then you can use the Neutron Cannon next time. Since it's not that upgraded, it's not as strong, it might be more challenging for you. You could sort of, I don't know, I just remember, like, as a kid or a little bit younger, there was, like, these, like, you would sort of make these different scenarios in games, like, dude, let's see if you can beat me with this character using this item at this power level, right? Like, kind of thing. Um, that's the other thing, too. Are there going to be numbers? Are there going to be stats? Are there going to be grids that you look at, like, I don't know, take any game. I'll just pick Elder Scrolls because people probably have heard of that, right? All the numbers, right? You open up the list, the attributes. You're like, wow, I have 22 stamina now instead of 21. You know what I mean? Is that going to be a part of this game at all? I do want to pause it right here. Golly jeepers. Ooh, I like the dragon wings being blurry there. But the trees, the fact that there could be a player walking amongst these trees, hiding in a bush, trying to ambush another player, that could be incredibly cool. If you're in a zone where combat is turned on, for example, and maybe if you have your combat turned on, you're just basically inviting other players to, hey, see if you can, and then maybe you only lose like a little tiny bit of resources. Like maybe there's like not really like a currency, like I can't imagine there's gonna be like money, but kind of like units, or some sort of value system. That's a good question. Actually, I haven't really thought about it. It's how like money and stuff is gonna take place, but it'd be so cool to explore that. And while I have you here, if I still have you here, the other really cool thing that I think No Man's Sky did the absolute best, better than, oh my gosh, the derelict freighters, yo. In No Man's Sky, you have the ability to go to any of these systems, any of these procedurally generated systems, and every freighter, every derelict freighter that you choose to go and explore, which are basically these abandoned, once upon a time, huge ships that are now derelicts. They're just floating out there. They're able to be used. They are not usable, is what I'm trying to say. They're basically dungeons. So these dungeons are created randomly as you fly into it. Same with everything in No Man's Sky. As you fly into it, everything's created. The planet's created. The biome, the trees, the assets, right? All different plant life, the animals as well. All these are different assets created and controlled by different variables and different parameters. But with these derelicts, every single one is different. Every single one. It's almost like an NFT. Like truly, that's actually the appeal of a lot of this like Bitcoin, all of the crypto stuff. The technology promotes this kind of exclusivity, the novelty, the shiny Pokemon type of effect. I keep forgetting to pause it exactly where I want to pause it here, don't I? Okay, so let's go back just a bit. The power of rewinding. I don't know why I didn't just rewind earlier. Like, oh, I gotta wait. This is a really good shot. See, it's so cool the fact that you can have your dragon chilling on a hill right below here. The fact that you can see your friends standing on top of the hill, really good. Like, you can imagine stuff over here, like if you had another clan coming in and they're like trying to just rush you out of nowhere, and you're like, yo guys, fall back to the dragon, whatever, get behind the tree, or like you have like a secret underground hill, or you have a bunch of supplies, or a little underground bunker. I don't know, I just think more player interaction, that of course collaborative interaction, but I think it would be interesting to see interaction beyond that, like player versus player combat, essentially. That's my personal weird thing, and I know that's probably not going to be common or the headspace that a lot of people are going to be in, but I just wanted to throw it out there, and also just sort of ramble about this beautiful game as we continue to watch the trailer. Of course, the RPG elements are going to be there. If you're a RuneScape player, I'm sure there's going to be some numbers, some sort of grinding for you here. If you enjoyed No Man's Sky, there's going to be the beautiful graphics, the bright colors that Hello Games does so well. If you're a single player, if you're like an Elder Scrolls person, or I don't even know what single player games are huge these days, but if you're one of those, this is going to be just incredible. Pick up the controller, feel good, walking around type of game. There's not going to be huge bosses. The other thing about the player versus player is, like, if that is a part of the game, that would imply that the actual player versus environment combat is really, really good. We do get some cool shots of that, right, with the crabs and the exploding bow and arrow for a second there. This is an interesting shot, too. I will pause it if you haven't seen it before. We do sort of see these smaller little shadow creatures down here. And of course, Big Boy! So Big Boy is interesting. Sort of a callback to No Man's Sky with the design of the Knowledge Stone here. So they obviously did that on purpose to be like, okay, some of the same ideas are going to be here. We're going to lean into the aesthetic as well, but it is going to be different enough. You can see even just like right here, some of these colors in the plants are dulled and stuff. They're not quite like No Man's Sky, like bright orange, bright red, bright pink in your face type of stuff. And the textures just generally like on all the rocks and stuff way better. Or like the ground here, the reflections, the lighting, the fog. I mean, oh my gosh, the clouds in this game are like the best clouds in gaming, low key. No Man's Sky, Hello Games has done a lot, like technologically a lot with a very small team. It's very, very cool. So I'm very excited for the game. If you're still here, don't forget, if you do enjoy the video, give it a like. That'll help more people find it. And if you're interested in this game or Magic or Pokemon or anything else that I might be playing, mostly Magic though, give me a sub. I'll keep making content for you. It'll be great. You know, we'll have a good thing going on, me and you. We could be friends. So, beautiful logo too, I gotta say. Does sort of call back to the Alice in No Man's Sky. So yeah, interesting take, I'm sure. There's tons more I want to talk about, but I don't want to just blab your ear off. And it seems like everybody and their mom is making a video about this right now, trying to pump out content and just get hype, get some momentum going. I'm excited myself, I'll admit, just bluntly. I'd love to find some more people that enjoy this type of game as well and expand my horizons a little bit, because I will be playing the heck out of this game for personal enjoyment, and I'd love to make videos about it the same way I did this. You know, I had that natural evolution with Magic, so that would be cool. I also play the heck out of Pokemon, and I'm going to be the #1 Pokemon player in the world one day. Just you watch. Sheesh. Yeah, that OU, all the DLC just came out. Terraglops, or whatever, the turtle legendary is crazy. I haven't even used it because it feels too dirty. I've only played like a little bit, so now I'm blabbing. Much love, you guys. More Magic content coming out. I put 3 videos, 3 decks recently, you know, after the first Light No Fire video. So I'm going to try to do like 1 Light No Fire video, 3 Magic videos, and then 1 Light No Fire, you know, kind of keep it like that. So yeah. Anyway, I'll call it there. Much love. Peace.